do the same thing over again and expect a different result. I want justice for my baby, Alan Dwayne Bluford. I don't have no peace. Where there's no justice, there's no peace. Don't think you'll have any peace. City officials, do the right thing. Fire Miguel Masso. Do not let his poison continue to spew throughout this community. Do not let these cops that get away with shooting young kids in the face keep spewing our communities. Constance Graham in New York, my sister, I stand with you. My heart cries with you. But guess what? We stand, we fight, and we will get justice. Justice for Ramali Graham, justice for Alan Bluford, justice for all the families that have experienced this injustice, justice for this community, justice for us all. Thank you. Thank you, Geraldine, my sister. Thank you, Adam, my brother. And, I want to just remind everyone, I believe you heard the message of why we're here. I believe you heard it loud and clear. But I just want to say one word, and that one word is accountability. That's what the Justice for Alan Bluford Coalition has been about from the very start. Accountability. And I just want to read, word for word, what Thomas Frazier said in his talking about dates and where we're at. On May 1st, this would be about, 6 or 7 days before Howard Jordan mysteriously came up with an illness and retired. On May 1st, Thomas Frazier released his report, which was entitled Oakland Police Department Remedial Action Plan. And it stated that the primary problem with OPD was lack of proper management and accountability. This is from the federally appointed compliance director. When we were at the 11th and a half hour, one hair away from going into federal receivership, what we get instead of federal receivership is a compliance director. And what this compliance director says is we need more accountability. We have a lack of proper management. And a secondary problem, the total lack of officers calling out misconduct on the part of their colleagues. And right here I'm speaking to, I can't tell you how many people tell me, but all cops aren't bad. They have a hard job to do. They're out there, they have dangerous work, and those communities are in, they're dangerous. And man, Oakland has a lot of crime. I wouldn't want to be a police officer out there in Oakland. Well, you know what? When there are people like Miguel Masso out there murdering young men like Alan Bluford for no other reason than the color of his skin. Alan Bluford, a beautiful boy. He had so much light and promise out there. And when people like Miguel Masso feel privileged to do that, and nobody around him is going to stand up, none of his officers are going to stand up and say what's up, then there is a problem with the whole department. That's right. The whole damn system is guilty. Tell the truth and stop the lies. Alan Bluford didn't have to die. Tell the truth and stop the lies. Alan Bluford didn't have to die. Tell the truth and stop the lies. Alan Bluford didn't have to die. All power to the people, y'all. All power to the people. I'm going to introduce my brother Daryl Whitman here. He is a federal investigator, and federal investigator with the Department of Labor and OSHA, and he is going to let y'all know just a few things here. I think one, two, maybe a few things of what he thinks is wrong with the DA's report on what Masso did to Alan Bluford. Daryl?
Thank you. I'm really proud to be here today with this family and with this coalition. It represents the best, I think, of our traditions in fighting for justice everywhere. And thank you. Fighting for justice everywhere. In this case, it begs for a serious reconsideration. When I went through the police report, it was very clear that the police report was a cover-up. There was no serious investigation done in this case. Any self-respecting investigator would not have signed off on this. It's a fraud, and I would call upon the compliance officer to look carefully at that report. No one. You don't have to be a professional investigator to recognize bad work when you see it. This is horrible work. I'm also stating here today in my capacity as a union steward and as a delegate to the San Francisco Labor Council. And I'm very proud of the 100,000 members of the union in San Francisco standing beside this family and saying, we want justice for Alan Bluford. And this resolution was passed unanimously and enthusiastically by every delegate in that hall. The Bluefords came and they told their story, and it touched a lot of hearts and resonated with a lot of feelings about the people are not being represented in police work, that the government officials are not being accountable to the people in pursuing justice for anyone. It's not just here. We go to San Francisco and we'll see the same thing.
That's right.
Go to Vallejo and see the same thing. You can see it all across this country, and it's time for it to stop. And it's time for our union sisters and brothers to join with the Bluefords and with all these other families and say, enough is enough. No more. Basta.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you, Dara. And next, whoopsie, sorry about that. Next up, we are going to have Joe Kepper from the SEI